Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this next episode brought to you by Saroca and iGBA affiliate. My name's Emily Haruko. I'm the CEO and founder here at Saroca. And today I'm here to bring you some further leadership distinctions that will support the evolution of your growth and your team's growth as it means to bring your 2026 goals to fruition. So we're deep into Q1 now. And at this point, if you haven't already totally forgotten about your New Year's resolutions, this is the time where, most people have either given up or lost sight or are feeling completely off track. If you are not one of those people, I congratulate you and, wish you well on your journey to bring your goals to fruition. But for those of you that may be redesigning a little bit of what your 2026 goals might have looked like, I'm here to bring you a powerful distinction that can support your mindset in an effort to bring those goals to fruition. So the distinction is really between what is an intention versus what is a commitment. And we often confuse the two. And the reason being is because an intention is something that the actions necessary or the actions around it, the choices we make around an intention, will often be shaped by our mood or how we're feeling in the moment or whether or not we feel like it. And that's why a lot of New Year's resolutions, stereotypical ones, are actually intentions and not necessarily resolutions or commitments. The difference between an intention and a commitment is a commitment is the thing that you will follow through on long after the mood that you've set the commitment in has fleeted. A commitment is the thing that brings a promise into reality. A commitment is making the time when there is none, coming through time after time and year after year. Now, there's nothing wrong with intentions. Intentions are great, but what we don't want is for you to gaslight yourself into thinking that the intention you're working toward is truly a commitment. So the difference between them is that a commitment, again, your actions around your commitment will be shaped by the commitment. The actions around an intention will be shaped by how you feel or the mood that you are in when it comes time to taking action around those things. Now, sometimes people can get a little commitment phobic, or maybe they're scared of commitments. And so I like to introduce this concept of a rider around your commitments. And the concept of a rider really comes from the music industry. And when an artist books a venue, say, Jay-Z's booking the Staples Center, he will have a rider. And the rider maybe is, only Belvedere vodka, only red velvet furniture, only blue M&Ms, a string quartet in the corner. Riders can get crazy, especially, the larger of an artist you are and the more specific your requirements are to elicit the best performance out of you. That's what a rider is designed to do, to create the environment within which can elicit the best performance. Now, if you're the garage band playing like the neighborhood pub, your rider might be a pint of beer or a six-pack. But the larger, the venue, the larger the artist, the more intense the riders get. Now, I love to introduce this concept of a rider as it relates to commitments, because again, a commitment is the thing that you're going to follow through on, regardless if you feel like it or not. And if you want to find out what you are truly committed to in your life, what results you are committed to, take a look around at the results that you have created for yourself. That's inevitably what you are actually committed to, because a commitment is the thing that we bring to fruition no matter what. Now, you could argue that, yeah, but I really wanted to do this, or, I hope that things would go that way. That's fine. Those things were intentions. If they weren't brought to manifest, if they weren't brought to fruition, then they really were intentions. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we want to get really clear. And there's a lot of power in the distinction between, am I operating from a place of what I intend to do, or am I operating from a place of what I am committed to doing? So the concept of how a rider works with a commitment is that, say, we say as an organization, we're going to break, 7 figures this year. And it's our first year trying to break 7 figures. And no matter what, we're going to do this at all costs. But the rider might be, nobody's allowed to work on the weekends. Or the rider might be, we're all committed to exercising 3 times a week. Or maybe for an individual, I'm committed to bringing, making sure the business hits seven figures this year, but I'm going to get at least 7.5 hours of sleep every night. Those conditions or the rider that is affiliated with the commitment is the thing that's going to support you to elicit the best performance so that you can bring the commitment to fruition. So as we near Q2 and the rest of 2026, I would love for you to consider, have you been operating from your goals from a place as though they are an intention, maybe a nice to have, or the decisions around them are shaped by your mood or how you feel in the moment? Or are you operating from a place of commitments, and are you showing up even when you don't feel like it? What would be helpful about setting a rider along with the commitments that you have to elicit the best performance that you have within you to bring those goals to fruition? Of course, if you would like to know more about these powerful leadership tools and distinctions that we use to support organizations in the gaming industry to bring their fullest potential to fruition and how we optimize humanity in the workplace, you can reach out to us anytime. Would be happy to discuss this further with you. Thanks so much to iGBA Affiliate for creating this collaboration with us. And we hope to bring you more powerful leadership tools and distinctions to support the remainder of your 2026. That's all for now, and we will see you next time. Ciao.